The story of the human race begins here, with the rise of hunter-gatherer tribes all across the primitive world. In brutal climates, disjointed groups of men and women subsisted bravely against the chaos of unladen natural forces. Basic necessities were the product of arduous labor and death-defying practice. Observe as we follow one group's gradual ascent to dominance over the physical world. Men of each tribe were tasked with assuming the tireless pursuit of meaty nourishment. Any energy gained in yesterday's meal was exhausted in the search for the next. With only primitive weapons such as the stone-tipped spear or the occasional bow and arrow, hunting was dangerous, and stealth was a definite prerequisite. Now our hunters close in on their chosen prey. The hunt is successful. Now the spoils will be transported back to camp and divided amidst the party. Meanwhile, the women of the group are occupied with the less trying task of gathering roots and berries to complement a dinner of flesh. The fruits of early man's labors were dispersed among all around the dancing embers of coveted fire, a powerful tool that was integral in man's claim over the centuries. Man especially claimed the rights of power as the wheels of time ground out early examples of patriarchal politics and society. The camp also acts as an effective place to forge new rudimentary weapons for tomorrow's hunt. Here, at these temporal settlements, early facets of paganistic cultures were etched into the stone walls of time in the form of isolated cave paintings. Soon, as an unexpected byproduct of the habit of foraging seeds, agriculture began to flourish all over the globe. Societies quickly rooted down into more permanent locations, and culture quickly evolved into a form more similar to that of the modern day. Here, such development is dramatized.
We should plant these! Dude! Good idea. Dude!
Yeah! Alright! Yeah!
The earliest cradles of sedentary civilization are listed here on this map. In blue is Mesoamerica, with such domestications as the turkey. In green, the Andes, whose people domesticated llamas. Yellow is Papua New Guinea, with the banana plant domesticated. Across the Atlantic, we find sub-Saharan Africa in gray, domesticating the chicken. In purple is the Nile River Valley, with the camel. Red is Mesopotamia, with the ox. Orange is the Indus River Valley, with dogs. And the Yellow River Valley in blue, domesticated pigs. Civilizations to arise within the 6 natural hearths of humanity are Sumer, Babylon, and Assyria in Mesopotamia, Egypt and Kush within the Nile River Valley, the Harappans and the city of Mohenjo-Daro in the Indus River Valley, China, specifically the Qin dynasty in the Yellow River Valley, the Olmec civilization in Mesoamerica, and the Incans in the Andes. Babylon, a model ancient society. Like many ancient kingdoms, Babylon's geography provided it with many advantages to creating civilization and advancing quickly. For example, the domestication of the ox provided Babylon with better plowing systems. Soil of the Fertile Crescent made agriculture possible and profitable. Because of the food bounty, the population was able to inflate. Finally, Babylon was able to defend itself and conquer other lands with bronze that was made from available elements. Agriculture, as a system, made use of the plow and fertile soils to grow a surplus of vegetation-based food. Pastoralism, a form of cultivation based on herding, developed alongside agriculture. So widespread was this phenomenon, in fact, that many lands in Afro-Eurasia are now irreparably damaged by its overgrazing tendencies. To provide water for farmland soils and to protect shores from flooding, early methods of irrigation, such as dikes and canals, were devised. Kings during this time period were often celebrated as gods, such as in China, Egypt, and Sumer. This belief allowed for them to adopt a power previously unfathomed by harnessing large slave labor reserves and conquering other lands. The slave labor reserves made possible the Egyptian pyramids and Chinese terracotta army, and the god-king belief greatly advanced the patriarchy in this way. Early examples of patriarchy include the ancient Chinese and Egyptian societies. In the ancient Yellow River Valley, the early Chinese civilization began to practice Confucianism. Confucianism taught great respect for the elderly and that men in society were most important. This obviously gave priority to the wishes of men, thus establishing patriarchy. Egypt, too, practiced political and societal patriarchy. For example, all throughout this period, ruling power was bestowed only upon men. Women in this society did not exercise much control over their households, though they could own property. Interactions between culture during this time period were often violent. Those who invented iron early on, such as the Hittite civilization and the Harappans, had high advantages in defending their territory and claiming that of others. However, not all interactions were violent, as Mesopotamia often bartered goods such as meat and technology for African exotics of Egypt.
Hey man, you got the stuff? Yeah, I got that good wheat right here. You got the skins? I got the skins, man. Alright.
Though forms of writing and language were quite diverse across the globe, those in power often expressed their glory in very similar ways. Observe similarities and differences between the monuments and writing styles of different civilizations as I list some of them now. This is a ziggurat. Created in Sumer in the 6th century BC, it is a religious center built for honoring the gods. These are the Great Pyramids of Giza. Created by the Egyptians around 2560 BC, they were meant as tombs for the pharaohs. This is the Terracotta Army, built by the Chinese around 246 BC. It is meant as a mausoleum for the Emperor Shi Huangdi. This is a map of the city Mohenjo-Daro, built by the Harappans around 2700 BC. It was one of the first great cities of the world. This is an Olmec head colossus, built by the Olmec Society around 1500 to 1000 BC. It may have served religious purposes or represented past leaders. These are hieroglyphics created by the ancient Egyptians. A unique fact about this writing style is that only priests used it. This is the writing system cuneiform. It was used by the civilization Sumer, and it was the first writing system ever used by mankind. This is Indescript. It was used by the Harappans, and an interesting fact about it is that we still cannot translate it. It is a language utterly lost to modern times. The polytheistic Vedic religions were founded around 1000 BC around such religious texts as the Vedas, Kama Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, and Mahabharata. Key gods within these religions were Vishnu, Indra, and Brahman. Key figures and prophets were people such as the Buddha. The moral philosophy of the Vedic religions revolved primarily around following and accepting caste to receive good reincarnations. The Hebrew Abrahamic faith was monotheistic and founded around 2000 BC in the Middle East. Religious texts of the religion include the Torah and the Talmud. The key god was Yahweh, or the God of Abraham. Key figures in the religion were prophetic ones such as Moses and Abraham. Their moral philosophy was to follow God's 10 commandments to receive eternal bliss. Zoroastrianism is a monotheistic religion founded around 600 BC in Persia. It is centered around religious texts such as the Avestan with the prime god Ahura Mazda. The main prophet and founder of the religion was Zoroaster, and its moral philosophy revolves around that man should be prepared mentally and physically for the fight against evil. And now, to assist you in your studies for the AP World History exam, I will narrate a brief outline of a change in continuity essay over the first time period. Thesis. 2 changes made during the first time period, dawn of man to 600 BC, are the advent of sedentary agriculture and the invention of iron, whereas 2 continuities over the same time period were patriarchal civil organizations and the worship of pagan religions. Paragraph number 1. This time period is primarily defined by the dramatic, though gradual changes in the lifestyle of man. Among the largest 2 changes in the time period are the advent of sedentary civilizations and the creation of iron, each one revolutionizing society totally in its turn. Paragraph number 2. The continuities of this time period are particularly interesting because any cultural trends or holdovers surviving the Neolithic Revolution must have been highly coveted by the people of the age. 2 of the largest continuities of the time period are the patriarchal organization methods of society and the worship of polytheistic pagan religions. Conclusion. The human race during the first time period shifted from nomadic hunters and gatherers wielding stone tools to sedentary farmers making use of iron-based utilities. However, many cultural aspects of the nomadic age remained, such as patriarchal society and paganistic worship. At long last, I will share with you some clever vocabulary that may assist you in your test this coming Thursday. Civilization, the stage of human existence at which point cities are constructed. Culture, art, religion, clothes, etc. Paleolithic era, era of hunter-gatherers. Neolithic revolution, discovery of agriculture. Sumer, Mesopotamian civilization. City-state, city-sized nation. Hammurabi, Babylonian king famous for law code. Babylon, Mesopotamian society famous for gardens. Ziggurat, Sumerian shrine/religious center. Cuneiform, first form of writing by the Sumerians. Pharaoh, Egyptian king purported to be a god. Papyrus, Egyptian paper. Mohenjo-Daro/Harappa, first civilization, Indus River Valley. Ideology, collection of beliefs. Cyrus the Great, powerful and great Persian king. Royal Road, enormous Persian highway by Darius the Great. Mandate of heaven, leaders are ordained by God. Nomads, traveling societies. Hittites, civilization from Asia Minor famous for creating iron. Hatshepsut, female pharaoh of Egypt. Adkheten, Egyptian pharaoh, lots of religious reform. Ramesses II, celebrated Egyptian pharaoh. Ashurbanipal, Syrian king, great conqueror. Israel, promised land of Jews. Hebrew Bible, sacred text of Judaism. Phoenicians, famous Mediterranean shipbuilders. Polynesian, of or relating to the culture of Polynesia, a large archipelago in the Pacific Ocean. Micro-societies, small culture groups consisting of low populations. Now, we will take a look at the darker side of Paleolithic man, with some bonus footage of a cave similar to one they may have lived in.
View of where I am. Let's drop in. I know you probably can't see much, but you know, it is a cave.
hey, little money, yes, you Tim. This is my dark side.
Yeah.
Yo, yeah. Soldiers getting that money.
Yo. I know I have the potential to do something transcendental that most people will be mentally incapable to understand what is happening to me. It's unstable. And when it happens, there is nothing I can do to stay true to the man I am before my dark side lets loose. My alter ego, new victims as he go, running through the night. He's a criminal, taking what he wants and no minimal, and nothing accidental. But that's not me. So if you see him coming, you better start running. But if he catches up, don't forget who really done it.
Some people think that I'm just crazy. This is my dark side.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. This is my dark side. Evil thoughts flooding into my brain. This is my dark side.
Crazy running through my mind all the time. This is my dark side.
Running through the night, victims in sight. This is my dark side. Dark intentions running through my veins. This is my dark side.
Got a dark side that sometimes needs to shine. No matter how hard I try, can't keep it inside in my spine. That's when I can't fly. Just let me in my time. This ain't when I die, or this ain't a crime. Gonna have that platinum shining so fun. When I grow my whip's gonna be chrome. Take that back, it's gonna be dope. Never gonna be slow. I have to have these times so I can grow. So every time I do this, I can still flow. I gotta tell pal, watch your mouth. I'm from the south, I'm proud. With a nice sound, saving it now. With so bad that I hear it loud. With the crowd, over the cloud. Fighting with you cause dark side's out. Never been found in the cloud. Back bling, bling, that's my only style. Snow's down, where was that plow? What is that? How? Where's my crown? Give me a clown, this is my town. Ain't no frown, I wanna see wows. All of these nouns, color me house, our dark side's out. This is crazy. This is my dark side.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. This is my dark side. Evil thoughts flooding into my brain. This is my dark side.
Crazy running through the mind all the time. This is my dark side.
Hunting through the night, victims in sight. This is my dark side. Dark intentions running through my veins. This is my dark side. Everyone has a dark side. They have things that they're trying to hide. Everyone has secrets. Everyone has regrets. Everyone has an evil half. Even the most righteous can fall down the wrong path. Everyone has moments they wish that they could rewind, turn back time, but they can't. We just have to repent for our sins, make our amends, because we're not always going to be able to keep a dark side in. You can't contain it, you can't erase it, you gotta let it out somehow when nobody's around. Don't want others to be there when your dark side wants to fight. Gotta do your best to get rid of the darkness, make room for the light.
Yo, hey, low money, yes, she TM. Now, let's go. Some people think that I'm just crazy. This is my dark side. Yo, everybody is my dark side. SGTM, A Money Productions.